had that movie that you just can't remember? Some call this the Mandela effect, but there are times where you could have sworn it existed at one point or another. This is one of those cases. Let me introduce you to feature films for families. This company has been working on classics such as Picture Perfect, Buttercream Game, Miracle Dogs, Just Like Dead, and the topic of today's video, The Seventh Brother. This was a Hungarian film in 1991 and was released internationally by the company mentioned. They were a Christian family, to say the least. There was a bit of a scuffle with legality, and afterwards they just faded into obscurity. That would have been just a poof. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the film. Seventh Brother, or by his original Hungarian name, Hadegi Tezaver, I guess that's how you say it, follows the plot of a puppy that got separated from its owners, thus being temporarily adopted by bunnies. Their words, not mine. The puppy, who goes by Tiny in the American version, the Hungarian version, I don't know how to pronounce, then has to act and think like a bunny, which kinda goes nowhere. Afterwards, he goes to live with the family of bunnies, as aforementioned, after saving one of them from a hawk, which I kinda thought was a vulture. It looks like one. Soon after, he became a friend in need to the forest critters, until he started to feel sick and needs to return back to his owners. The bunnies don't have to worry though. They get to be part of his family and all's well that ends well. So this movie is what I like to call a out-of-context movie. Meaning that there's one thing that would happen and then right after that, it's like it never happened. As I mentioned, Tiny pretending to be a bunny. The kids found him first, and not wanting him to starve or be alone, they took him under his wings. As soon as the hawk scene comes in, he starts acting like himself. A few scenes later, a flood comes in, and Tiny saves the family. Then before and after that, we get poachers hunting. See, the plot is all over the place, but there's a reason for that. And that's because the film was heavily censored. Now, the version we're seeing here is the American version. And with any Western release back in the day, some changes had to be made, such as the dubbing. It's terrible.
I'm not afraid of anyone. All danger runs from me. I'll save you and protect you whenever you're in need.
But what about the original version? What's different about that? Well, let's compare the two. In the American version, Tiny spied a frog and went to go chase it. After the car was fixed, the owners unintentionally left it behind. In the original... Well, no wonder why they changed the opening. Holy shit! Anyway, after that shocking scene, Tiny still thinks his owners will come back for him. But they never do. It's only at the end where we saw the little girl and her grandfather taking Tiny in, thus becoming his new owners. Whereas in the American version, made it look like the girl was always his owner. Some scenes in the original are still there. It's just that it makes this awkward for the crying scene to come in, which is more or less just a flash forward and a flash back. I get it's supposed to come off as a misunderstanding, but the context of the original makes a little more sense, even as it's extremely fucked up. But then again, the puppy and the little girl were far away, so who am I to judge? Now for the animation, it's serviceable for 1991. It's not trying to be like Disney, and I appreciate that. But even this is not safe from its awkward moments.
What's wrong? Is there a fire?
Especially with how cheaply made it was.
Can you even hear my cries that call your name beneath the stars tonight? When the wind blows cold and threatening, nobody's there to comfort me. Somehow,
This also goes hand in hand with how the story was told. What I mean by this is that there's this one character who I remember the most out of this, and it was the reason why it kept fading from memory. This specific character, the owl.
Oh, good morning. Or evening.
So this owl, or by his preferred name, Dr. Albert E. Owl, is the one telling the story. In the American version, the original, he was there, he was just like any other character. In fact, the way the story was told was by the little girl's mother, essentially explaining how they got tiny. But for some reason, they changed this in the English version with the owl. Now, that's not really a problem, it's just...
Well, it's nice to see a new face in the forest.
Dude, you are too close to the camera! Back off a bit!
You say you're lost. Oh, I'm frightened.
Anyway, this owl does play a part in the last act. That being, he literally tells the rabbit parents to send him back to his owners. In other words, the story hit a dead end and had to put this in. Then again, the original practically had him doing nothing. In conclusion, this was a good movie. It has its flaws, but it's harmless. Strangely enough, this got a sequel. I never thought it would have that. But it was a decent flick first time. In today's standards, it really aged. Animation being cheap as hell, scenes that makes no sense, scenes that were just too hot to put into the original. And a character that really makes you remember him in one way or another. Man, birds are creepy. I'm glad we shoot them.
You guys hearing something? Shake the bathroom?